here to share with you guys exactly what happened to me, the whole truth about why I failed my test multiple times. Were the examiners deliberately after me because I'm a migrant? Was I just unlucky? Was it because of the mistakes I made, or was it something else? I'm going to be opening up and being truly vulnerable in today's video, so please stick around with me while we go into the details. My name is Tochi, and welcome to my channel. Please like this video as you're watching, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. To all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thank you for the love and everything. I appreciate. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do so, because I share amazing content here you would definitely love. So please consider sticking around with me. So before I continue, I just want to show you guys something beautiful. If you love good things just like I do, then I'm sure you will love this Teddy Blake handbag that I just got, because it's very gorgeous. The packaging is cool, very beautiful packaging. Guys, I don't joke with Teddy Blake handbags. I always shop Teddy Blake because their bags are beautiful. You will get your dream design on their website, and they are made of pure Italian leather by experienced craftsmen. Their bags are very affordable. Imagine having luxury, like having a very beautiful and luxury bag for very affordable prices. So please shop Teddy Blake, visit their website and pick any bag of your choice. Then you can thank me later. I'm going to leave their link in the description box. So a few days ago, I shared on this channel how I failed my practical driving test a couple of times. As a matter of fact, I passed on my 10th attempt. Thank you guys for all the congratulatory messages, your well wishes. I really appreciate. I'm just here to share with you guys some of the mistakes that I made that made me take these exams a couple of times. And there were also some great lessons I learned that I just want to share with you guys. Even though I didn't break any record, there were people that did more than me. In the comment section, I saw people saying, oh, I did this test for 16 times. Some people said they did it for 18 times, some 12 times. So it wasn't just me. People fail these exams. Maybe because we always see people that just come and say, oh, I passed on my first attempt, or second time, or third time. Maybe the people that failed a couple of times don't really see the need to share that. But here I am sharing with you guys, because these were my struggles. So if I can share my wins with you living in the UK, why can't I share my struggles with you? There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of life. So somehow I just feel like you're definitely going to take something from this video, and you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. Firstly, I feel like one of the greatest mistakes I made was that I had the wrong mindset. So after I had failed like the second or third test, I just felt like, oh, let me just go and keep doing the test. It's not just money. It's not just 62 pounds. I might fail and come back and finish crying. I will clean my tears and say, oh yes, I'm going to book another one. Even if they fail me, I would come back, book another one and pass. I'll keep booking the test until I pass. If I got to a point, I felt like, oh, I'm not going to go for any instructor anymore. I'm not going to pay any instructor again. I'll use that money that I'll use to pay an instructor to just keep booking tests until I pass. So looking back now, that was not a good thing to do. So that was really the genesis of all my problems, which also brings me to the second point. This mindset made me to fail to act on time, because I had this mindset of, oh, I'm going to come back, book another test. I'm going to keep booking this test until I pass. I'm not going to go and give any instructor, because I already paid instructors. I've learned how to drive. So I was just all about passing my tests. I didn't, consider going back to an instructor anymore, to maybe just look at all the failures I've had, all my tests, and just go through it with me, or maybe just go for a drive for somebody to just evaluate me and see why I was failing and all of that. So by the time I realized it, or by the time I did it eventually, it was already late. It was after the 9th test. So imagine I had just done this maybe after my third test or fourth test. I was thinking about the 62 pounds I was going to use to book the lesson, and forgetting the torture, the trauma, the frustration, the pain of failure, just failing consistently at something. And this is the first time in my life that I had failed consistently at a particular thing. So I really didn't just know how to react. right? I know that people encouraged me, my family, my friends, everybody supported me. But as a person, personally, I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to handle this failure. Maybe this was just how I thought it was the best way to handle it. So imagine all this money I used to book the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and even the 10th test. If I'd used it to get an instructor and just do a couple of hours with them, maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't have failed again. Do you get my point? Another thing is I was just focused on passing the test instead of actually learning how to drive and just become a perfect and safe driver. Do you get? And then the cancellation app didn't even help matters because I could book 2 tests in a month. So I was just all about passing this test, and in my head I'm like, there's no way that I will keep doing this test and I will not pass. Someday they will just pass me, okay? Because I remember that at a point I didn't even bother going to practice anything or drive anything. I'm just like, please, all the ones I've been driving, all the ones I've been practicing, where did it lead me? I remember my husband would say, come, go and learn this thing, do your practice, do all your maneuvers, do everything. I'll be like, please, all the ones that I did, all the ones that I practiced, give my best, everything, where did it lead me? So I feel like that also affected me. So I was basically just practicing to pass a test. I was all about going to please the examiners instead of actually just learning and knowing how to drive. Now the next point is, after I had failed a couple of times, I was just all about, oh, these people are after me, these people are here to fail me. Because why will you fail me? Because I went close to a parked car, because you say I didn't look at my mirror. And I'll be like, but I drove you through the test route safely and brought you back. If I was not looking at my mirrors, do you think I would have brought you back in one piece and all of that? You know, so at a point I felt like they were after me, and you wouldn't blame me because I kept getting the same examiner over and over again, right? In my story, if you've not watched it, I'm going to leave it in the description box for you to just watch the full story, right? I had shared everything, the details, right? So I felt like she was just bent on failing me. Maybe she didn't like my face, or maybe there was something I did to her, because after the first test that she, you know, that we went, after she had failed me because I went close to a parked car or something like that, I was really not happy, and I asked her, but why I didn't go close to that car? She said, you know, she just gave me the reasons why she failed me. So I felt like maybe she was angry with me because I asked her questions after she told me I had failed or something. So I just had that in my head, that these people were bent on failing me. Maybe they had done meeting on my head. They said, oh, you will not pass this test, you just keep failing, you keep coming back, you know, something like that. But then somebody just talked to me and said, no, these people are not here to fail you. Everybody fails this test. Even English people, white people fail this test. It's not just about you. Blacks, white, everybody, if you don't give them what they want, you will fail. As a matter of fact, they want to pass you, but you just have to give them a reason to pass you, right? So immediately I changed that mindset. Immediately I stopped thinking like that, I passed. Right? Because it was the same person that failed me for 5 times that passed me. But I had that in my head. In fact, even turned to a prayer point. I was like, this lady, I started calling her name. Anybody that asked me, I was like, this is the person that keeps failing me. I didn't fail, but she failed me, you know. After I had gotten an instructor again, and I said, just look at my test results. She asked me to send her my test results, everything. She went through it, and she took me to places that I failed and showed me things I could have done differently to pass, right? So I actually made mistakes that made me fail. So yeah, I wasn't being preyed upon just like I thought. You know, this is just now thinking about it. Nobody was after me. Nobody was hell-bent or failing me. They didn't do any meeting on my matter to keep giving me that examiner. Even though I had to ask, like, why would she be the only one when they had other examiners there? Why was she only the one be my examiner? If you're in my shoes, I'm sure you ask the same questions, right? I asked that as a human being that I am, but just looking at it now, I don't know what it is, whether they were biased at some point, because I was going on my own. For some of the tests, I went on my own. My husband took me, you know, in a private car. Probably they felt I didn't have an instructor, coming on my own always and just embarrassing myself, you know. But nobody says you cannot go with your own car. Even on the DVLA website, it says that you either go with your instructor's car or your personal car, so long as your car meets all the requirements. right? And then you don't even need an instructor. You don't have to get a driving instructor. Somebody who has held a full driving license for 3 years can teach you how to drive. Okay, you can have an L plate on your car and the person will teach you how to drive. So you mustn't really use a driving school or a driving instructor. But somehow I feel like they still have that bias in their heads or whatever. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to talk about the mistakes I know that I made. Like, looking at it now, if I was to turn back the hands of time, I wouldn't have made those mistakes and probably I would have passed earlier. Yeah, she actually recognized me. I feel like, why wouldn't she? She had been my examiner for 5 times, okay, and I have the same face. There's no way I can change my face. So I'm sure she recognized me, and after she passed me, she's like, oh, this is the difference having an instructor made. Even when I was telling her, oh, thank you, after she told me I had passed, I said thank you. She said, no, don't thank me, thank your instructor. She did a good job. That was what she thought. She thought I didn't have an instructor, so I wasn't learning with anybody. I just kept coming to embarrass myself. I didn't really have any dangerous faults apart from the first one that I had. You say, oh, on this road, the 70 road, you entered the way you're not supposed to enter. You went close to a parked car, traffic light offense. You didn't look at your mirror before you turned left or right. You know, all those things. So these were just all the things that, you know, they failed me for, or that made me fail. And eventually, after my 9th test, I had to come back and I went back to the drawing board and said, what is this? You know, so I could have done this earlier, but yeah, I waited till after the 9th failure. But then, yeah, I eventually did it and I passed. So I just went back to the drawing board and just re-strategized. I got an instructor. With that, I became a better driver. In fact, I started even judging myself on the road. Whenever I'm on the road, I'll just be like, oh, this thing you just did now, if it was a driving test, you would have failed. So all these things made me a better driver, made me a careful driver, because after I fail, anytime I fail, I'll go back and just do those things I failed. So now somebody said I can now qualify to be a driving instructor based on the number of times that I went for my driving test. So I can advise people now on driving tests and mistakes they should avoid and things like that. Yeah, this was how this thing affected me positively. Like, it boosted my confidence the more. I can now just always drive if I want to. I don't have to be scared anymore because somehow I just know how to handle myself on the road, right? So that helped me as well. And then I'm sure that all these failures actually just, you know, kept me safe on the road. Maybe if I had passed the first or the second time, because I was just driving by the book, just, you know how you just go cram something and you want to write it down, but it just doesn't work like that. And in my case, it didn't work for me. It's possible it might work for some people, but it didn't work for me, and I'm glad. I'm sure that all these things happen for a reason, and one of the reasons is to just keep me safe, keep other people safe as well, so I can get the experience I need and become a better driver. Another very important lesson that I learned is that never be afraid to task your mind to go for something that you want. Do not give up no matter what. See, life is unfair, okay? Yes, that's very true. Sometimes I ask myself, well, why we just have to keep going through challenges? By the time you solve this one, that one is there waiting for you to solve. That's just life, right? But don't be afraid to go for things. Don't be afraid. I see people saying, oh, I'm scared. I've been scared of booking my test. I've been scared of trying. Don't be scared of failure. Is part of life. It makes you a stronger person. See, you don't know how strong you are as a human being until being strong becomes your only option. Because I see people also saying, Tochi, you're very strong. I don't think I could have handled this. I don't think I could have handled these multiple failures and all. So you can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you set your mind to achieve, no matter the setback, no matter the couple of times that you fail. Back now, I can't even remember some of the things that happened, all the tests I failed, why I failed them. I can't remember because the excitement, I'm overwhelmed with the excitement of passing and finally having my license that I've forgotten. Just like labor pain, you know, you're going into labor, you know, the pregnancy pain, the labor pain and everything. You forget all about that immediately after you're carrying your bundle of joy, immediately after you're carrying your baby, after you've pushed your baby out, you've forgotten all the pain and everything. So that's just how life is. right? By the time you get that thing you were looking for, by the time you get that thing you've always wanted and hoped and prayed for and fought for, you will forget all the times that you didn't have it, all the times you cried because of it. You forget it. It will become, a thing of the past. Now people are saying, oh, I passed 4 times, I passed 1 time. I'm happy to say I passed 10 times. I didn't come with any offense. I just failed driving test, and yeah, it is what it is. When we go somewhere and are looking for drivers with full license, nobody will ask you how many times did you pass your test, how many times did you do the test. Nobody will ask you. All they will ask is your license, please, and we'll all bring out the license. That's what is important, and that's what matters. And just know that giving up should not be an excuse. We say in Nigeria that now who give up lose, oh guys. So please don't give up. Anything you set your heart to do, just go for it. Anything you want to achieve in life, go for it. Even if you face failure, setbacks, eventually you become successful. Eventually you will see the results, and then you'll be happy at the end of the day. And I'm also sharing because this my story, I know it's going to affect somebody positively. People said, oh, I was inspired, I've been discouraged, but your story encouraged me. This is why I'm doing this thing, and not just because I want to share. It's just so that you can learn from my experiences. We share our wins, so why not share our failures, our struggles, our challenges? It's part of life. I know that I also, when I was going through this phase, I enjoyed watching this kind of videos. I enjoyed listening to people encourage me and talk, because I get inspired. I just know that, oh, I'm not alone. People also go through challenges. People also go through stuff as well. So it's not just peculiar to me. It's part of life. When I was also pregnant, I enjoyed watching pregnant videos, pregnant women talk about their experiences, because that also made me understand that, oh, I'm not alone. This feeling, I'm not the only one feeling this way. Other people are going through it, and if they can go through it, I too can do it. Do you get? So I know that sharing that I failed 10 times alone, or that I passed after my 10th attempt alone, I saw the number of people that were encouraged, even those that sent me DMs sharing their own stories with me, that called me, people that left comments sharing their own stories and everything, people that have shared that they failed a couple of times and they're still failing, but with my story they are encouraged to just keep pushing, knowing that they will get it someday. So yeah, that alone makes me happy, and I figured that coming to also share the mistakes that I made, just so that you don't make it and you don't have to do it 10 times. You don't have to do it the number of times that I did it and spend the much money that I spent, because yeah, I spent so much money. I hope you're inspired. I hope you've taken something home, and I hope you're entertained as well, because I love watching story time video like this as well. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.